January 2005, and the Stormers arrived at Louensford for their very first Stormers training camp at Louensford, and Dr. Visser was there to welcome them. Just incredible to see all my heroes that I normally only see on television in real life. So Gert Smal and Karel du Plessis were the coaches of that squad, and the first morning they got them off to some weight training, strength and fitness training, and I was allowed, doing the PR, I was allowed to walk around with my camera and take pictures of everything. You know, listening to the banter, meeting my heroes, and you know, guys like David Barry, Marius Joubert, Gaffie de Tooy, Skalk Burgers, John de Villiers, listening to the banter and just hearing these guys play and see how hard they worked, and but also see how much they enjoyed it. For me, it was fascinating. I mean, I was immediately hooked on being there with a camera. Later in the morning, they did a contact session. I mean, to see the guys work and how they hit each other, and to be there, and sometimes I think I was a bit in the way as well, but yeah, Gert Smal and Karel just made me feel so welcome. Guys like Greg Echter, who gave me the shirt, I still have it 15 years later, just really felt part of the squad. I mean, it was just fantastic to be with the boys and to see them work, and to, you know, guys like Marius Joubert, who actually acknowledged me and showed me a peace sign during a training session. I thought, wow, these guys really connect with you, and they're not just all about themselves. Later that afternoon, the guys went for a bit of a cool down swim in the dam, and again, I mean, they allowed me to have my kids there, just invited me to be part of the whole squad. I mean, the guys were swinging from the ropes, bantering, laughing, just making jokes with each other. I also, you know, met some of the support squad. I'm still friends today with Greg Echter. I mean, he made me feel welcome every time I'm at Newlands. He would make contact with me, make me feel welcome. I mean, I never felt like I was in the way. So really, really special friendships forged back in 2005 already. A few years later, Gary Gold brought the Western Province squad, and again, they trained hard. Guys like Skalk Brits was in that squad. A couple of new faces joined the team, and it was just, you know, I felt like I've known these guys forever. Again, they made me feel welcome. I was on the pitch with them, you know, in the mix, and really, really fantastic to see them work out, and just to meet the guys and get to know them. Obviously, through this, I got my first invite to go to Newlands. I think my first game was the Stormers versus the Reds. I can't remember the score, but I can remember the adrenaline when I walked onto the pitch with my Mickey Mouse camera, and you know, saw all these photographers with their big lenses, and I still remember, you know, Maton van Zyl, who at that stage was probably the only photographer I knew, sitting in his special corner there, always sat in the same spot. I sat down next to him, and eventually got to know him quite well. One stage he invited me, and he said to me, you know, as long as you buy a beer, I'll talk. So I've learned a hell of a lot from Maton, and till today, you know, every now and again I reach out to him, and we still share some classic moments. But I met guys like S.I. Alexander, Carl Fourie. Relationship started a bit rocky, but it sorted itself out, and maybe I'll do a video on that as well at a later stage. But just the privilege to be at Newlands, to see these guys play, to chat to them afterwards. I mean, for me, it was just fantastic to hear the hits. I mean, you actually felt it. So something that till today I really, really value, and I love it. You know, to photograph your first try. I think it was Luke Watson who scored the first try, and I could literally touch the guys behind the touchline when they scored the try. Skalk Burger got injured, was led off the field. I mean, I even took pictures of him sitting next to the field, so it was also pretty classic. You know, guys like Greg Echter and Gavin Lewis, who made me feel welcome, and we're still friends today. And whenever we see each other, you know, we reminisce about the great Stormers training camp. So, just shows you what, you know, one incident, how it can change your life. Later, I got some of my pictures published in the newspapers, which set me up for years to come. And till today, whenever I get the opportunity, you'll find me at Newlands, either with a camera in the hand, or every now and again I just sit in the stand and watch, but don't do that too often. So let's continue on this journey and work towards my first test match, which was later in that year against the All Blacks, one that the Springboks won. And I'll keep you posted on this, so tune in for the next video. Cheers.